Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Tessa-Marie show. How are you this evening? I am so happy to have you, all of you here with me tonight. So let me see who I can send an invitation to join me and see what they have to say. So let's try that and see who is coming tonight. So tonight I'm going to talk about finance and see where we go with this. Because sometimes we talk about stuff and there's always somebody that you can give a little bit of stuff about too. So it will be important to push a little bit tonight and talk about financial and stuff like that. So let's see where we're going with this and go on from there and see how things are doing. So, and let's see where we go. Who is here? Hi, Donato. How are you? Nice seeing you tonight. All of you young men are here. So welcome to the Tessa-Marie show. And it's such a pleasure to have you. Hi, Yoko. How are you today? So tonight I'm going to have a special conversation. And it's going to be about money. And sometimes I have to talk about finance. That's my speed. And all I need is a little bit of a push from somebody to just give me a little edge, just a little, and you know, once I get that, I am on fire. So tonight, I am going to be on fire, and the fire is going to be about money. So I can see all of you chatting with each other. And that is cool. Hello, everybody. I haven't seen you since 8 o'clock this morning. You are guys like a bunch of family members I have of mine. Oh, I haven't seen you since this morning at 8 o'clock, Yoko. I haven't heard from you, Donato, since 8 o'clock, Ali. And there you guys are, a few hours later, acting like you haven't seen each other for a whole 2 weeks. So I'm happy to see you guys are one big happy family. So tonight, though, we're going to have a nice chat. And I'm just wondering if you guys are going to cheer me up on what I'm going to talk about. So one of the things that I do, as you guys know, before everything there was money for me. So before anything else happened, it was always about money. And everybody knows that when I hear the word money and I hear it about people, I get into it, and don't tell me about money if you don't want me to open the jar right away and check it and see what's going on in there. That's my passion. My passion is to fix it. But the first thing we have to do is to always be open to what we have in front of us. Money is a funny thing. Something that doesn't move unless we move it. Money doesn't do much on its own unless we get it to do what we want it to do. But the thing about money is that money has a way of getting legs on it of its own. And if we don't harness money, and when I remember once I was at the dentist, and my dentist is the funniest dentist. He has his hand in his mouth. Hi, Rose. I'll talk to you later. He has his hand in your mouth, and he's asking you questions. So any one of you who know how mischievous I can be, when I notice that's what this man is doing, I have a pad and pen, and I go to his office, and the first time I did that, he almost fell off his chair. He's talking to me and asking me questions about money and banking, and so I'm replying on the pad. And then he stopped. He took his hand off my mouth. I said, "Why are you doing that?" I said, "Well, how do you expect me to answer you about money with your hand down my throat?" So anyway, so that became something. So one day he's talking to me, and I was done, but he had money question about investment, money coming in from Greece, la, 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 la. So I said, "You know what, doctor? Money is something that has to be harnessed. Harnessed like you harness the horse. Money has to have a muzzle on it like you put it on a bad dog. Money, if you leave it alone, it will disappear." So one of those things, when I said that to him, as I'm leaving, I heard him repeating it. He said, "Money has to be harnessed." And he repeated it twice. It's almost like he was putting it in his mind. Money, it has to be harnessed. And there is no way you can sit here and tell me you have enough money and you don't want more money. There is no way. Because money is always never sufficient for what you have to do. And if you are contented to just do what you're doing now and not expanding your horizon where money is concerned, then you have to think again. Money is not going to make you live longer. It's not going to prevent you from getting sick. Maybe if you have to get medication or to take care of yourself. And the most important thing, money is not going to give you happiness. If that could happen, Aristotle Onassis, his daughter Christina, would not have been a drug addict. His son Nicholas would not have died at 24 in a plane crash. So we know for sure that money couldn't prevent those things. Money actually helped it. But what I want you to know tonight, I'm talking about money because people don't realize how important it is to know how much money you have. And what is worse, and more importantly so, is how much money you owe. You should not guess. You should never guess how much money you have, how much money you owe, and what you are worth. Because sometimes when we are buried in the mire of poverty or pain or lack, we forget to look at what we have. So when you subtract with money what you owe from what you own, you will find you're not bad. You have liquid, you have cash. You actually are able to stand on your own 2 feet. The thing though, there is nobody teaching you to do that. There is no one out there. And that is why when I wrote my book, Controlling the Debt Monster, I wrote it specifically for the ordinary, regular little person out there. That's who I wrote my book for. That person that does not have $1 million to invest. That person who doesn't understand the language or the method of the bank. That's why I wrote that book. In the book, I run a scenario with this couple. Yoko has the book. Rosita has the book. And in the book, the first thing you get is that I made them sit down and write down all the debts they had. If Lisa comes on now or Kathleen comes on, they'll tell you that's what I taught them to do. You cannot run away from it. It's no point you take the bills when it comes and put it on the table and don't open it. It doesn't make it go away. So money is something that has to be harnessed. And when it is coming, that is when you need more control of it. Money left in a checking account is like taking a sieve and pouring water in it, a strainer, in other words, and letting the water run through it. That is what a checking account is. That is why you see me, I have handled my money with several different types of accounts. I don't have one saving account. I have a saving account for everything that is important in my life, and it starts with my vacation. I have an account where money goes every month just for vacation. I have an account, of course, you have to have your retirement account, that goes without saying. If you have children, you need to have an account for their education. So you see where you're going with this? So already there is 3. Then I have an account for the maintenance for inside of the house. Where is the money coming from when you want to get light bulbs and a filter for the furnace, or a broken tap, or to fix the furnace, or to fix this, or the dishwasher, or the washing machine? Where? So that has to have money going there just for that purpose. And that is why you put several accounts. So when your pay comes, it is automatically shift into all these accounts. So if something happens in the house and the tap is broken and you need to go buy a new tap, and you look in that account and there's $150 there, you know that's covered. Those accounts are your insurance for what you might need in your home. Then, you see, remember, I put pay myself first. I put the vacation account, I named it first. It doesn't have to have $10,000, but if you want to just take the kids to another state or another province, $1,000 will do it. So if you put money in there, $50 a pay is $1,300. If you get paid every 2 weeks, come on, see what I mean? But you have to know where your money is. Then you have money if you have a house for the outside of the house, the property tax, the insurance, the car insurance, all that. And they're separate. I put them, all those for outside of the house, in one account. The small things in the house in one account. My savings account is that. I like going to the spa. I like buying my vitamins. That goes in account. because of the type of car I drive, I need a special account for maintenance on that car because it's very costly. So this is what I do, and I teach that to all the people I mentor and I coach. Make sure you have your money divided, and I am going to prepare a course for people. And all of you that are always here, like Rosie and Rosita, even if you know how to handle an Ali and everybody else, but you might have to teach a child one day. You might have to tell your children how to do this one day. And I'll teach you guys, I'll maybe do it on Zoom, but I'll teach you guys how to do that, how to manage it, how to take control. And once it's in order, you never have to touch it again. It automatically goes there. And I said to you guys last week, that's why your employer takes the income tax from your account before you get your money and pays the government. Why? Because nobody trusts you to pay you. So why would they trust you to pay them? They know you're not going to pay that yourself. You're going to pay everybody else, Con Edison, Bell, all the different companies before you pay yourself. So if right now anybody is sitting in a situation where their debt is suffocating them, you need to know, you need to take your time and get those bills out from where you have thrown them, where you have said, I don't care, I'll get to it. The only thing that's been ruined is your credit. So pull them out, DM me, and I will tell you what to do. Make a list of the latest balances on everybody, write the name bold. You are the one that incurred the debt. No matter what the circumstances are that you did it, it's still your debt. It doesn't belong to me or to the bank or anybody else. So face it, write it down, and total it. Including your mortgage or your rent. What do you owe? Then look at your asset and see where you are. If you keep running away from it, then you might be running away from a solution that is sitting you right in the face. There is always a solution. We can always figure it out. But you have to know. So my job, my duty, that's why tomorrow I'll talk about the 3 E's. And the 3 E's is where I started my journey, to enlighten you, to educate you, and then to encourage you to succeed. You have to choose to live like nobody else right now in your life, so that later on you can live like nobody else. You make the sacrifices when you are still young, or you make the choices that are not the regular, ordinary choices when you are younger. So when you get to be older, you can live in style and you can choose where to go, when to go, and how to go. So what I'm saying is that the choices you will make now, for example, is with your health. Exercise, keep your weight down, eat properly, drink water, manage your money wisely. So when you get to be 80 years old, you can still take a plane and go somewhere else. You can still go on a vacation without having somebody to push you in a wheelchair. And that is what I am asking you to do. So you have to plan your life better now. So you live like nobody else now. Make the choices that are harder when you're healthier. Make the harder choices when you're younger. So when you get older, the choices have been made. You took care of yourself. The other day I saw Rosie doing in a sauna. I saw this other one doing push-up. I saw somebody else. That's what you do when you're young. So when you get older, your body is accustomed to it. Yoga does yoga every morning. Rosie goes for a walk with her dog and trying to keep her weight down. I exercise every day, 7 days a week for 20 minutes. Somebody said you should let your body rest. Well, if it hasn't sorted this out yet, it's not going to sort it out. It's no time for rest. It's time to keep it lubricated and running, all the joints flowing. That's my decision. So that when I want to get off a chair, I can get up on my own. I don't need to call someone to hold my hand and pull me up. So I'm preparing for the day that I don't want this to happen. So that's what you do with your finances. You make some choices now. And it's funny, that's why we have the 5 pillars of prosperity. If physically you're not functioning, how financially is of no point because you're not going to use it. It will affect you emotionally. It's going to affect you mentally. And of course, it's going to devastate you. Why did God do that to me? God hasn't done a thing to you. You are the one doing it to yourself and you're blaming Him. You have to fix it yourself because you have free will. You are the one that talked to Him. Know how much you know. The first thing you have to do is write down all the bills you have, every one of them. If it means you get up, you write two down. I have seen people who couldn't face it, and I was at their home. They would write four of the bills down, and they would get overwhelmed, and they would get up, and they would pace. And I would say, come back, you need to do it. They come back, they write four more. And they had to write that until all 11 or 20 different types of credit cards and bills were written down. Then they broke down and they're crying. I did that. I said, well, you have to know. Telling me you owe a lot is not an answer. So we totaled it. How much is on the house? A small mortgage. And you have this equity. Yes. Well, let us fix that so you take that stress off you so you can live like a normal human being and you can think. When you don't have the stress of all those things on your head, you can think more clearly. So this is what I'm trying to say to you tonight. Finances needs to be honest. They need to be controlled by you, not by the bank, not by anybody else. So let me see what you guys are saying because I want to know what's going on in your heads tonight. So let's start at the very beginning. I'm not done. I'm just started. So I hope you guys are still here doing that. So anyway, let's see what happened here. Ali joined. Hi, Tessa. And Donato joined. And then Yoko. And then I screamed and said I was talking about money. Money talks, let's go. That's Mr. Donato. Money, money, money. Rosita. Hi, Tessa-Marie. Hi, Rose. I want to have a great relationship with money. I need to hear from Tessa. Of course, Rosie, I hope you're still here. Yoko is saying that. So I hope you guys are still hanging around to hear the rest of it. Money likes to be pampered. Money loves to be held. Money wants you to know that it loves you. But you have to let money know that you respect it and you will take care of it. And you want tons of it. Let's go. You can have tons of it. I would like mine personally signed by you, please. You are super special. Thank you, Rose. And I'm looking at your comments. My butt going to work. Hello. I agree. Seriously, this whole group is family. It is like Family Guy. This kind of car. What kind? I'm not going to say what kind of car I drive. That is a private conversation. I'd never say what kind of car I drive in public. Powerful message. Preach it. You blow me away. You said that, Rosita. So you see, my question is in the box. I'm going to look at your question in the box. What's your belief surrounding tithing 10% first or pay yourself first? What is your opinion? Well, you know what? I'll tell you something. Donato asked that question. He's asking about tithing 10% of your income to the church or to your religious thing. And maybe it's because of my experience. And I have seen so many people are tithing 10%. And sometimes they cannot even pay their rent. And the church does not help them. They will tithe. And because the minister or whoever people have told me, I am tithing 10% because God will give me more. That is absolute rubbish. You can give what you can afford to give. 10% can be a lot for one person and not a lot for another person. You have to give according to what you have to do because you have to still eat. When you give the church 10%, are you paying your bills on time? Can you pay your bills? That is where your first responsibility is. I don't believe entirely in it. I believe I belong to a religious organization that does not dictate how much you give. So I give as much as I want when I want. But I don't give 10% of my income to anybody. And I don't believe anybody should do that to these poor people, telling them that if you give 10%, God will send it to you. Some of them lost their home doing that. Some of them were evicted from their apartment doing that. And then the church is not helping them. They're ashamed to go back. And when they cannot afford it, and these are the people, they go back to them and say, you didn't do your tithing. It's almost like they shame them. There was a young woman who came here and she was working and paying $900 a month. She had a master's in social work and she was a full-fledged social worker. So she was making $96,000 a year and paying $900 a month towards the church. She was driving an old beat-up car. And one day the car stalled on the 401 and she's coming here and she's telling me what happened. When I spread out her stuff to her and I said, you cannot do that. She said, well, but God will give me. I said, well, obviously he hasn't sent you that car you're waiting for. So he's expecting you to do something about it. So I had to, so then luckily, and somebody said it to me the other day, is that I can think on the fly, and I praise God every day. He gave me that ability to think. And you know what I said to her? I said, come on, let's look at that. And I know I can call her name because she told me that experience was worth listening to, Lisa. And I said to her, that not the Lisa you guys know, another girl. I said, listen to me. How many hours do you spend at that church? She was given 30 hours a week of her time at the church, in the choir, in the youth group, in this group, in that group. I said, your income is about $65 an hour. I can't remember. I'm just using that number. And I said, multiply that by 30 hours and tell me how much money you're giving every week. Every week, because your time is also part of tithing. It's not only money. But they make these poor humans believe that it's all about the money. But it's time also. So when she went to the pastor with these numbers in her hand, I got her to accumulate. The pastor said to her, well, Lisa, I'm really sorry. Not that I didn't realize. He didn't say I didn't realize that. He said to her, well, yes, you shouldn't be tithing that much. And I had prepared her. So I said to her, tell him you can give $150 a month and no more, because of what you're doing. And today, Lisa, soon after that, she was able to buy a brand new Jeep. She's a social worker. She goes to people's home all over the city. How can she be driving a broken down thing that can crash on her anytime? She's a young woman. It's not safe. Then today she owns her home. She's married and she has a son. But everything, and Lisa loved taking her mom on vacation every year. She was able to do things she couldn't do. So I am not in favor of tithing and leaving things behind. And nobody's going to tell me there's a way in the Bible that Jesus said you must give the 10% and you have to be poor and miserable and you have no food to eat and you're evicted from your house. It has to come with those caveats. I'm sorry. So that's my answer to you, Donato, on this thing. That is my answer to you on tithing. Tithing has to have a limit. You can tithe if you can afford it. If you can give more than 10, then knock yourself out. But the bills and the arrangements, you have to honor the arrangements you made with your landlord to pay, or the arrangements you honored, the arrangements you made with the loan for your car. You cannot be tithing and you cannot eat either. It's not fair. So when it comes to money, that's what I'm good at. And if you want to know how to do it and to have a good relationship with money, I am the person you're looking for, because that's what I am passionate about. You have to manage your life a little bit differently, with a little bit more stress now while you are young. Make some decisions that are not the norm. That is why you live like no one else now, so you can live like no one else when you get later. And that is where the 5 pillars of prosperity come in. If you make good choices now, emotionally you'll be in a better situation. If you make good choices now, mentally you'll be in a better situation. Physically, naturally, spiritually, and financially. So if you take care of your body, your mind, and your emotions, you'll be in a better position when you get older to make some choices. And these are the things we have to watch. So this is what I wanted to make sure you guys got tonight. You know how much you make. It's not going to be easy. Know how much you owe, and that's even harder. And don't round up the numbers and tell me, oh, I make 100,000. No, you don't. Nobody gets paid 100 exactly thousand. What you get paid is what is in your account. That is what that matters. The amount that they put in your account, this is the amount you can live off. And if they tax you on a gradual tax rate, which both North and Canada and America has, then there's no way your income is 0. What you get in your checking account is never 0. It's going to have something like 97 cents, 56,427 cents. I don't care. The point is, after taxes, it doesn't have a 0. And that is what you have to know. You need to make sure you know how much money you owe. And again, that process is not an easy process. It's very hard. Most of us are not able to face it because we are surprised, we are frightened, especially when we are behind in payments. We don't know what to do. We walk, as I said to you, that man paced his floor for more than an hour, and every time he wrote 3 bills down, he lost his breath. He had never faced it before. He was taking from Peter to pay Paul, twisting it here, doing this there. And that is not how you do it. Money has to be honest. Money has to be in control, otherwise it goes. It's so easy to write checks. It's so easy to take money out of accounts. It is the easiest thing to do. And you don't even feel that you're doing it. Especially if you're using a credit card. You swipe it here, you swipe it there, you swipe it over there, and then you pay them the minimum. And when you pay the minimum on $2,500, it takes you 11 years to pay it off. Come on, people. Harness your money. So tonight, that's why I wanted to bring it up. I want to enlighten you, educate you, and encourage you. But I want you to realize you have to make choices now while you're younger that will enable you to live a different life when you're 20 years from today or 30 years from today, so that you can make choices. But it doesn't mean only with money. You need to take care of your health. You need to take care of your mental health, emotional health, and your physical health. And then you have to take care of your spiritual health. And when you mess up, don't blame God and say, I'm a Christian, why isn't he helping me? He told you to go help yourself and do it wisely. And when you are asking for help, ask him, is this decision for my highest good? Is that the best decision I can do today? And let me see what you guys have to say again. So here we go. If you tithe, it teaches you to be frugal, rubbish, and you know that. Don't even go there, Donato. Tithing does not do that. I dislike that your spouse's bill are also your own. Yeah, once you're married, you go together. I saw your question, Donato, and tithing does not teach you anything. And if somebody told you that they wanted you to tithe. But if you tithe, it teaches you to be frugal with your money. Is that so? No, you have no money, you have to be frugal because you gave it all to them. So just get over that. Hi, Corinne. So no, it does not teach you to be frugal. And you know that. Hi, Nina. And we live in a debtor's nation. That's why. No, it's not. We choose to live that way. No, it's not a debtor's nation. Donato, you're very wrong. Don't say that because I wouldn't agree with you. You choose to be a debtor. And a debtor is a slave to the creditor. And that's what it is. We choose to be debtors. Nobody, the nation doesn't tell you to go get debt. You choose to do that. That is equivalent, Donato, to somebody coming to the bank and telling me, why did the bank give me a credit card if they knew I didn't have money? Really? Did the bank sign those bills for you when you were getting that credit? No, the bank didn't, so don't go there. Don't even go there. Very true. I don't even have one anymore. You know, Nina, there comes a time, I have told people that over and over again. A credit card is not your emergency account. You have to create your own emergency account. A credit card is something to be used in case of an emergency. When you come home, you should have money in your emergency account to take care of that debt. So if you choose not to have a credit card and you're able to function without it, good for you. If you have established your credit in other ways, good for you. I have just 2 credit cards. And the only reason I have 2 credit cards, the one I use to buy online, it has a $600 limit. Why? If it gets compromised, it's only $600. Otherwise, I have 1 credit card. And it never comes with me because I don't put things like that. If I want to buy something just to get the points, fine. But the money's already sitting there to pay for it. So that's what it is. And it has nothing to do with it. When we start blaming the nation for our credit, they are not telling you to go get credit. You are choosing to do that. And that is, don't blame anybody. That's why we don't get away from it. With money you make money. That is, with money you get what you see. But the most, I understand that, Ali. Money will make money, but debt does not make money. Why do the wealthy give away all their wealth then if that's so? Because they choose to. You think they give all? Donato, you really believe they give all? No, they give, when they give their wealth, You know why? When they give it the write-it-off, right? You know that's a write-off, right? You understand that. It's a charitable contribution. So when they go and they give the money to UNICEF to build houses in Africa, or they give it to this, to that, or they give it to fix somebody's eye in Timbuktu, that's a charitable donation, and it comes off your income tax. It decreases the taxes you have to pay. That's why they do it. So the rich can, when they give a donation to church, they write that off too. So when you tithe, you should get a receipt from the church for the amount you tithe, so that can be written off. And it's not even all of it that is written off. It's 0.17% of what you donate that gets written off. 17% of it, not 100%. So if we don't, we have to change our way of thinking. We create those holes that we find ourselves in. Nobody else is doing it for us, but us doing it to ourselves by going and get debt. If you cannot afford it, then leave it alone. You don't have to have it. The only thing you must have is food. And if we look carefully, there is always more food in the house than we need to go out and buy. So the thing about money is knowing what you have to do with it. Knowing that you must harness it and use it wisely, because it will grow legs and wings and it will fly away. Although it does move. You put $100 bill on the counter and you leave it there, it will never go unless somebody touches or the house burns down. But the point of it is that we let it free. We leave it and let it free. So we have to know what we owe. The first and as I said, the most difficult thing any human being can do who has debt is totaling that number. But you have to know your liabilities, which is the debt, and your asset, which is what you own. And in the middle, you will get your equity, what it is you're worth now, your net worth. So you must subtract what you owe from what you own, and the answer is your net worth. And if you're suffering in debt, you need to find out how you can take some of that net worth and ease it up. But then you have to be diligent that you don't go doing this again. Then you are branded. The banks look at you as a seeker and an abuser of credit. That is not a nice code to be under. So-and-so is a seeker and an abuser of credit. It's not good. And the bank is a business, for goodness sake. They're not your friend. They're not your parents. They're not your family. They're not responsible for what you do with your money. You go to them to get it. They are in a business to make business. If you own the bank, you would do the same. So the bank is a business that is there to make money. It has stockholders. They invested in that bank and they want a return on their money. So this lady at the bank that is smiling at you is not your friend. It's an employee of the bank, and they need to make their target so they can get their bonus, so they can have a vacation too. So they will give you whatever it is you request within the limits that they have. Because this is how they're trained, and they're running a business. When I worked for the bank, my branch had to make a profit. My branch had to. And all the branches around me had to make a profit in Scarborough South, not even Scarborough North. Then all of the GTA had to make a profit. Then all of Ontario had to make a profit. Then every province is treated the same way, and at the end of the day, they put all of it together, and that is only when they look at it to see what bonus you get. We were each responsible to grow our margin. It's a business, so you in turn learn from the best and emulate the best and run your finances like a big corporation. Any business you go to today, this is April, they already know what the bottom line is going to be in December. They know if they're going to make money. The bank's years start on November 1st. On the 16th of December, they will let you know if you're going to be successful of October for the following year. Because they're looking at your progress, at your numbers, what you're going to do. But we consumers, we are just dancing around lily-lally, swiping the credit card, buying there, eating out, and thinking, no, there's a time for all of this. Fix your finances first. And don't do anything else until you know exactly where you should go. You need to have a relationship with money that is healthy. Money shouldn't see you picking up your wallet to open it and hide because you're going to spend it. Money should want to say, oh, they're nice, they stay with me. But if your money is afraid of you, it's going to leave you because you're considered a spendthrift. And then the bank look at you as an abuser, a seeker, and an abuser of credit. That's what they see. So you have to learn to fix that situation. So this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Well, that's why they give them money. They get a tax receipt. Is that why most of the people in Canada are slave to the debt to the bank? No, they're not. Amongst all of the nations in the world, we have the lowest of that rate. It's high, but per capita, it's not. They're not a slave to the bank. They choose, Donado. They choose. You guys all choose. We choose to be a slave to the bank by the way we use money. And they're not slave. The bank does not make them slave. The people all over the world are in debt. And these are choices they make each and every day. You either lend or borrow, just like it says. It's true, and you have a choice. Emergency account has been helping me. Oh yeah, an emergency account is what you have to have if you have your special emergency account, when the emergency comes up, you can take care of it. Hi, Christy. Hi, Belinda. You can take care of it. So that is what it's, Nina, it's a tax saving. Yeah, in a way it is. They could do it to look good. Yes, they do it to look good. In some cases they do. They feel good. They wave and they tell their friend, I give 17 million. What you donate is only a 70%. Yeah, 17% write-off. No more than that. Your network is your network is your net worth. Well, maybe. But with money you make, money that is with money you get what you see. But the most important thing, never change with money like life. And so it's important, but the method of use is more important. Yeah, the method of how you use the money is more important. Bye, Nina. Night, Rosita. Night, Nina. So Rocket Employment said to me, that was great information. Belinda, thank you. So now you have another topic you can use on our Zoom. Rosita, thank you. Yeah, it's amazing, guys, what you can do with money. But one of the things you have to learn to do with money is to make sure you know where it is, make sure you know how much you owe, and make sure you know how much you own, and then what comes out in the middle is really your net worth. And tithing is a matter of choice, but you cannot tithe and not honor the debt you have created with other people. So Rocket, she said, yes, I do. You know I will. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. When you come to the show, Tessa-Marie show, Belinda, I know the next 2 weeks I'll be doing a Zoom on that. So I should really memorize what I say and stuff like that. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on the Tessa-Marie show. I hope you got your nugget, your pearl, or your diamond. And if you did, come back tomorrow night, and tomorrow morning I'll have some more pearls for you. And think of it, I think you guys should start getting a golden pouch. I know Yoko and Belinda will be looking for a pouch, because you guys, and Rosita and Rose and Nina, all these pouches, and you can pack all of your diamonds and your stuff in there and keep them because you're getting them. So write them on a piece of paper and consider them a diamond. Consider them a pearl or a nugget, and keep them in a special little box, a pretty little box, because these are important. So sending you light and joy tonight. I am so grateful for every one of you who are here today. Thank you for joining me. There were quite a few of you when we started off, and a lot of you stayed and put comments. I try to make sure I touch each and every one of your comments. And let me see who else was here. And you're on fire. I'm always on fire, Rose. Thank you, everyone. Ali, good night. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Rosita, I'll DM you in a few minutes. And have a wonderful night, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow night, it's going to be on the 3 E's. So join me for that. You're going to have fun with that. See you later. Take care. Bye. I got this note. Have a wonderful night, each and every one of you. Bye-bye.